أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحابته وكل من اتبع هداه سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We are going to continue from where we stopped, and this is our fourth class explaining the articulation points. Now, we stopped I was explaining the last class that the tongues has 10 articulation points for 18 letters, and I explained 3 of the 10 articulation points. I explained أقصى اللسان مما يلي الحلق. I explained أقصى اللسان مما يلي الفم, and I explained وسط اللسان. And now we are going to take it from the fourth one, which is حافة اللسان, that is the one of the tongues, one of the edges of the tongue, one of the edge of the tongue, or both. For one edge of the tongue, it is referred to as hafatul lisan. One edge of the tongue is being referred to as hafatul lisan, while hafatan lisan is being used for both edges of the tongue. Hafatul lisan, one edge of the tongue. Hafatan lisan, both edges of the tongue. So in this instance, used along with the upper back molars. Most times the left side, and that is where we use. That is where but. That's the articulation point of but. And now we have hafatul lisan on its own. That is between the edges of the tongue, usually the right side, and the gums of the upper front molars. And that is the articulation point of lam. By the time you practice this to but, you really need to use the edge of your tongue, rather, or both edges. And in this instance, it is going to be used with the upper back molars. But. And at the same time, you are going to use we are still discussing about the tongue. For la, it is going to be used lam, and the gum of the upper molar front within the canine, the teeth, and the incisors, and that's where the lam comes out. Lam. We have the third one, which is ra'sul lisan. I said it earlier that all these things we are going to start this book, but I would like to explain the makharij al-huruf first, so as to make it easier for us by the time we start taking the alphabet one after another. So all these things will be repeated, and it will get better, inshallah, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. So let's just take it this way. We have the ra'sul lisan, and that's the number 3 that I'll be explaining today. I explained the hafatul lisani or hafatani lisan, and with that stands for one or both the tongue, which I explained is being used to as it is the articulation point of but. And after that, we are explained the hafatul lisan, and in this case, when it comes to the lam on its own, we don't use both edges, and that is why it is different from but. That is the reason why it is separated from but. In the case of but, or in the case of lam, we only use the edge of the tongue, and that is within the edge of the tongue. And I explained that most times it is explained that most times it is usually the right side and the gums of the upper front molars. So the canine teeth and incisors, and that is where lam articulates lam, lam, lam. And now I move to the third one, which is rasul lisan. That's the tip of the tongue, the tip of the tongue, and that falls between the tip of the tongue and the gums of the two upper central incisors, and that is where noon is being pronounced. Noon, 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 noon. That is as simple as a noon, noon. Two upper incisors, noon, noon, noon. You should have pride. You should. By the time you pronounce, you are going to notice that that goes to the gum of those incisors, of those two upper incisors. No, no. You feel that if you should pronounce it very well, you are going to get what I'm saying. No, no. That tip of the tongue falls within the two upper central incisors. That is the gum incisors. And now we have رأس اللسان ما يلي ظهره. We have the upper points of the tip of the tongue. And in this case, it falls within the upper part of the tip of the tongue and the gums of the two upper central incisors. Please take this. The upper part of the tip of the tongue and the gums of the two upper central incisors. And that's where ra is being pronounced. Ra, 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 ra. We have رأس اللسان مع ظهره, and that is the tip, including a portion of the surface of the tongue. Tip, including a portion of the upper, between this tip, including including a portion of the upper surface of the tongue, and the root of the two upper central incisors. That's the makhraj, that is the articulation point of ba, dal, ta. Ba, dal, ta. Ba, dal, ta. Let's stop there for now. So, and now we have رأس اللسان مع قريب من الثنايا. رأس اللسان مع قريب من الثنايا. And that is the tip of the tongue near the inner plates of the upper central incisors. We have رأس اللسان, that's the tip of the tongue. مع قريب من الثنايا, near the inner plates of the upper central incisors. And that is the makhraj of bat, where we pronounce sad, sin and zai. Sad, 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 sin and zai. Sad, sin and zai. Zai, zai, zai. And then we have ظهر اللسان مما يلي رأسه. We have the upper surface of the tongue near the end and the tips of the two upper central incisors. And that's where va, dhal, fa is being pronounced. That's between the upper surface of the tongue near the end. The upper surface of the tongue near the end. So the upper surface of the tongue near the end. We use that, that will fall between that and the tips of the two upper central incisors. And that is where vo, that, that, fa, fa. Try to pronounce, and you're going to get, you understand, you see the practical aspect of it. The upper surface of the tongue near the end and the tips of the two upper central incisors. And that's how you'll be able to pronounce vo, val, and fa properly. We are going to explain this alphabet one after the other, inshallah. And every alphabet has its own uh, way of pronouncing it, and that will be touched in later. So, yes, I understand. Probably things might be getting tougher. It's inshallah going to be easy, and you will get it, and you will never regret enrolling for the course. And inshallah, at the end of the day, by the time you try your best and you take your time to listen to class, to follow classes, and you it's good to you feel free to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. But make sure you follow the class, you do the tests, and inshallah, if you did not get it now, you are going to get it later. It takes time. Yes, it's understandable. It takes time. But inshallah, you get it. The summary of what we explained today is that we finished the the articulation points, and I said it's for 18 letters. And these articulation points are the articulation points for that has to do that the tongue has. I said it's 10. The 10 articulation points. I have explained 3 in the previous class, and now I completed the 7, which one of them is for bird. 2 of them rather. When I was explaining the hafatul lisani or hafatani lisan, which of them is for bird, and I explained that of lamb, which is hafatul lisan also. And we have ra'sul lisan, the tip of the tongue, and that tip of the tongue, it's going to fall between the gums of the 2 central upper incisors, and that's where noon is being pronounced. Noon, noon. The gum, get that? The gum of the 2 upper incisors, and that's where noon is being pronounced. And we have ra'sul lisan mimma yali dhahra, and that is between the upper part, the tip of the tongue, and the gums of the 2 upper central incisors, and that's where we pronounce ra, 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 ra. Then we move to ra'sul lisan ma'a dhahri, and we explained that I explained that it's between the tip of including the portion of the central part surface of the tongue and the roots of the two upper central incisors, and that's where pa, dal, dal, ta is being pronounced. Pa, dal, ta, pa, dal, ta. Some people make some mistake by pronouncing ta. It is not ta. Ta is not from the huruf al-ham. It's not from the alphabet that we huruf al-hams, huruf al-hams. The alphabet that we wizu when we want to pronounce them. If you hear ta, it's no that's not the correct pronunciation of ta. It only happens when the ta has sukun. When it has fatha kesra ta, I, lu, ta. We are going to get there, inshallah, by the time we start explaining the alphabets one after the other. So, and I think we completed it. We moved to Ras al-Lisan ma'a qarib al-thanaya, and at the same time we finished the ظهر اللسان مما يأتي رأسه. So, صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار. وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Till the next class بإذن الله تعالى. السلام عليكم.